What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey, and I am Shakira. Yes, I am wearing the glasses. They're blue light filter, and they were free, so I did not pick them. So yes, I look weirdly nerdy. You're welcome. And by the way, nerds are cool. Anyway, April has begun, and if you see me looking up, I'm looking at the screen for testing. So this video again, uh, first week of April review. And I've also been looking at the Kimmel trading videos. I don't know if he's got like a 30-day boot camp that he did. And I'm actually rather enjoying it. Why? Because I spent a lot of time going over ICT, which I love. ICT is chef's kiss. But ICT can get a bit overcomplicated because he provides a ton of information, a ton of methods, and a ton of ways for you to like get in and out of the markets. And some of them are sniper, like aggressive. And I think for new traders, it can be a bit um, difficult to execute on a lot of those. I know for me, I got analysis of paralysis for a while there. That sucked. Still kind of sucks. But for me, I like Kimmel stuff because it's simple, it's easy to understand, and I think for someone with a pretty decent understanding of a lot of the concepts that ICT teaches, that it just kind of helps to simplify a lot of things. And it's a good reminder too of things I should be paying attention to because I find that during the day when I'm staring at the charts, like in my head, I'm like waiting for certain things, like I'm waiting for certain behaviors to occur. And then, when they do occur and then I execute, or in most of my cases lately, when I don't execute after waiting, it's very frustrating. So it's that hurdle that I'm still working through. Now, one good thing to note is March was my first green month of the year. Yay! And it's amazing that it only took a few good trades when I had a bunch of other silly trades to work with. So it just goes to show you that the TP needs to be more than your losses, no matter what you do. And um, going through the Kimmel stuff, it's making me think, my stop loss, which is technically 0.5% of my account, which is a good amount, might need to be adjusted. But I don't know if I really want to do that, but it would definitely save me in certain scenarios. And other times the stop is perfectly fine. I'm not risking 1% every time I take a trade. I'm risking 0.5%. So if I take two trades in a day, then I've, lost 1% on the account on that day. And the main reason why I'm doing that is, so that my personal money, since I'm not trading prop firms or anything like that, um, I'm the one that has to eat all of that. I can't, in my current situation, trade prop firms. And I think that's good for me anyway. The concept of having to, I guess, pass something and then, get to fund it and I don't know. Would I do it? Maybe. I don't know. Should I do it? Well, I can't. So it's a non-issue. So right now, I think folks who are trading prop firms, it's a great way to get in without like ponying up your own money. And it's a great way to make money without having to worry about your money. But I think it's also a black hole for resets because a lot of traders tend to be more gambler focused versus methodical. So they're like, oh well, it's whatever. I'll just buy another challenge. But I think, both options have their pros and cons. Given that I don't have the choice, I just use a personal account and just keep it moving. Anyway, so risk management and all that stuff is like super important to me. So I took a screenshot of my April calendar. For this week, I've taken uh, two trades on Tuesday, two trades on Wednesday, no trades on Thursday, and then Friday, one trade. I was really pissed at myself because the trade I took on Friday was really stupid. And I said I wasn't going to do it, and then I still clicked the button. It's a weird. So let's have a moment. Let's just have a quick chat about psychology right now. So, like, I'm. I had a small red week, and the big takeaway from one of the first few things that I listened to in the Kimmel stuff. And I'll put a link at the end of this video, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's easy, it's palatable, and it's a good reminder for somebody like me, because I think I've gotten too deep into the minutia of looking at the candles, especially on the 1 minute, and I try to like pull back to the 5 and the 15, and then I constantly like take a look at the daily and the 4 and the 1 hour, just to kind of work on my daily bias, and versus the session bias. So let's talk about like that psychology piece for like a quick second here, because that portion of it is still an issue for me. I have gotten over a number of different hurdles, and I've talked about this in other videos throughout last year. And the current hurdle that I'm dealing with now is less that I'm losing. Like, I don't care about losing trades, one here, one there, because the big picture, and this is why I mentioned the Kimmel thing, like, it just reminded me that it doesn't matter if I lose, this entire week. It's just a losing week. But the long term is what really matters, right? Like, what are my long term goals? This one loss yesterday or the day before, it doesn't matter in the long term, because, every day, as long as I'm actually taking it as a learning experience, right? Remember when I said I've switched my thing from loss to learn? As long as I'm taking it as a learning experience, and I look back and I analyze why the trade didn't work or why the trade did work, right? Then that helps me for the next time I go in and risk my money in these markets, you know? So that one's big for me. Like, just remembering that one loss, two loss, three loss, four, it doesn't matter, right? Because in the long term, I'm gonna win, right? And I'm gonna lose in the markets no matter what. I'm gonna win, I'm gonna lose. And then just understanding that it's just a part of the process. The other part of it though is winning. Like, when you win, in my head, once I have a good win, like I have a weird, I think it's a subconscious thought that I'm gonna lose the next one. And that's something that I think is a bit of a weakness, and I think something that people don't really talk about as much, right? Because everybody's like, oh, I'm losing, oh my God. But, after coming as a new trader, after coming off that losing streak and then walking into, oh, okay, I'm starting to finally, take a couple wins, that's another psychological hit too. Like, it's almost like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Can this really be, real? I've been losing for so long. And then you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, because you you might fall back into that habit of, oh, well, I made a good win here. Like, yeah, juicy. But then, like, the next day, you might fall back into bad habits that put you back into that losing space because, oh, I don't know if I deserve it, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I'm thinking. We do. I know I do, and you do. So don't for a second think that if you're here and you're trying to do this thing and switch to this so fascinating way of making money, that you can't make it. You can. Okay? The people who don't make it are the ones that don't take that step back and realize that, look, this is the long game. You know what I mean? This isn't like a get rich quick scheme. This is a job, bro. Sis, person, we all out here trying to make some money from these markets. So let's just And this is for me too, because this is my journal, right? Like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, so Friday, and I'll show you all of these this week. I had a couple of places where I wanted to take trades and I set my entry and it never came back and tapped it and then I missed it and I was too scared to take the continuation trade and all that silliness. I had a I actually like shed a few tears on Friday, right? Why? Because instead of like, I don't care that I took that one loss. That was a stupid place for me to take the trade in the first place. I don't care about that. That didn't bother me. You know what bothered me? The fact that I waited and waited and waited for a specific thing to happen. I got my confirmation, I saw what I was looking for, and then I put my hand over the button to execute and I hesitated. Why do I hesitate? That's what frustrates me. Like whenever I wait for that thing, I'm like, okay, so the main daily bias is down in the Nazi, and I'm waiting for like some higher internal liquidity to be taken that I've been waiting, and then I want to see a break and then a little volume imbalance or a fair value gap or something to form for the return back down. And then I see what I want and I don't, and I'm hovering over it and I'm like, I know I should take this. And then there's this thought in my head. I don't know if it's even a thought. It's like a kernel of fear that stops me. And I know I can't be the only one that does this, right? Like you take a stupid trade and you just keep taking those. Then the things you wait for, man, the things you're salivating for, you're like, and you just don't take it. So that is what I'm fighting with. That is what my next hurdle, the next struggle to get over, the concept of actually being profitable. You spend so long being unprofitable, or in my case, this year, literally hovering to profitable, getting close to it, and then self sabotage. That's all it is, self sabotage. Now, if it happens in a situation where I take the trade that I've specced out, that I've like analyzed, and that's what I want to take, and I lose, no problem. That's fine. But when I'm not doing that, when I'm not taking the trade that I'm supposed to take, and I know it's there, and I had so many juicy ones this week that I hesitated on. So instead of making 2,500, 3K on one trade, because this market is moving, so my targets were, wow, and they took them quickly. So we'll take a look at this too, because in the charts, we'll take a look at this because we're in a big downtrend right now. So any move up is like a struggle. We fighting. I'm like, up, down, until it finally gets to where it needs to go. It's very annoying to watch. But any move down though is like waterfall, like, and that's what it means to trade with the freaking bias. So that's why I spend all my time waiting for that one trade. That's why I get so frustrated that when I finally wait and get to what I need and I see what I want, I don't take it. And that hurts my heart. I mean, that hurts my heart deep down inside. I know we're going off on like a whole psychological, but you know what? I need it. I need to talk about it. And this is my journal. And I hope, whoever's watching this, it helps them too, because everybody's experiencing similar things. Water. We're all experiencing similar things. And we're all going through those stages. Like I am what? Next week will be week 61 in my live trading journey. Right? Not profitable. Not profitable. But I'm not that far off. I'm in drawdown 1,010 at this point. That's, if I'm conservative, 2 trades, it could be 1 trade given the way these markets are moving. Doesn't matter. What really matters is the fact that I need to master myself. That's the part that matters. And it's a journey. So I'm on this journey. I'm I can't imagine literally spending this much time to do something, right? And then giving up. I mean, where they do that at? Hmm? Where they do that at? Because I'm not doing it. Hold on. Let me find that image. I probably have it downloaded. Let me see. There's that image of you know, that person digging for gold, you know? Let me find it. Let me find it and put it up here because this is what I think about. This is what I think about whenever, you know, the concept of giving up ever comes to me, right? Hold on. One step, one step from gold, something like that. Like that image. Here we go. Let me grab that. Let's copy this. Let's drop it in here. Oops, not that. This image right here. This image reminds me very clearly. Take a look at it. Take a good, strong look at it. This is who I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be 2 seconds away from these diamonds right here, from getting to where I need to be if I just kept going. You know what I'm saying? If I just kept going. So guess what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be this guy. I'm going to be, look at me. Look at him. He is ecstatic. He's like, I'm going to get to where I need to be. I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I am with it. I am here for this here. Okay? I'm here for this here. I am not here to give up and, you know, sink all this time and effort into being better and growing every day. So I am. Like the problems that were plaguing me last year aren't the same problems that are plaguing me this year. They're not. Like my problem right now is just allowing myself to win. It's like I'm at the door and I just need to step through it. So I'm trying to work on stepping through the door and getting to where I need to be. That's what I'm working on. Anyway, so enough psychological stuff, but I needed to say and talk and just be like, this is where you are, Shaq. Wow, did I just call myself Shaq? I never do that. Ooh, feels weird. It reminds me of someone else that called me that though. Um, but this image, man, this image is time I look at it and this dejected dude who's just like, I've given up. Can't. I've never given up on anything in my life and I can't do this. This is what I've decided I want to do to initially supplement my current career job that I have, and then eventually supersede it and make that the part time. But there are rules. I can't just do it like, oh man, I'm gonna be a trader like overnight. Woo! No, look, I know a lot of people are bigger risk takers than me, and good for you. But I got bills to pay. I don't like that. At least I don't like debt that doesn't pay me. And I am looking to grow beyond my current means, which, by the way, I am massively grateful for everything that I have. I can have food on my table, I have somewhere safe to live, I can watch anime anytime I want. You know what I'm saying? I came at a point where I can fund myself to trade one mini on the NQ. And then when I get close to that silly, margin requirements for it, I can add more money to get above it and continue going. Because I manage myself, I manage my risk, I manage every little thing and external, and now I just need to manage this. Just need to manage what's going on in here and whatever is stopping me. So let's say this. It doesn't matter if I'm losing for the rest of the month of April or I'm winning for the rest of the month of April. What matters to me is getting past that bottleneck that stops me from taking the well thought out, well conditioned trades that I wait for. Win or lose. Because I assume, with time, I'll be able to see that when I take the trades I'm supposed to, winning will probably show up more than losing. It's not going to be 100% because that's just not what we're working with. These markets are insane. Like some of these candles are just like, stop. But I do need to, make a decision about whether or not I want to adjust my stop. And honestly, for most of the trades that I take, I don't need to, but we'll see. Anyway, so let's get to the actual recap. You're welcome. And I'm welcome to myself. Thanks. I needed to talk about that. That definitely, uh, definitely. Oh shit! Hold on. Sorry, I actually clicked it in the wrong place and then removed my window, so I apologize for that. So let's get rid of that. So this is what April started out with. So let's talk about how we got here. So one small winner, which reduced my loss on Tuesday. Two losers on Wednesday. Shouldn't have been trading. I was feeling, I don't know, man, these allergies, man. My brain was, I should not have even bothered. Thursday, I had a couple of things I really wanted. And then Friday, I had a big trade that I didn't take. And again, that's why we're talking about this insanity. Anyway, so that's what April is looking like so far. So let me get rid of that and let's get cracking. Let's get a cracking. All right. So let's take a look at, I'm gonna use this one screen and let's dig in, right? So this is Friday. It's Friday. And the one thing that I'm trying to make sure I use moving forward from the Kimmel stuff and from ICT, because he originated it, at least as far as I'm aware. And then Kimmel is now using it and simplifying, is the power of three, right? So then, we have the open, initial manipulation, and then consolidation, accumulation, and then distribution. So that manipulation is what I was waiting for on Friday. So in the morning, let's see here. So this happened. So I like to take a look at the higher time frames, see where we've gotten rejections from. So we had this bearish fair value gap, the sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency that ICT uses. And so 9 a.m. we tapped that and dropped. So I was abso-freaking-lutely bearish. Like, come on. How could you not be? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Seriously? Yeah. So any push up, I'm looking for it to take something out and then give me a confirmation to go short. So I also like to take a look at the 5 minutes. So the morning for me, let me go back to my notes because I also document like the trades I should have taken because I um again hesitated and didn't take the trade I was supposed to. So that hurt my heart. So let's take a look at yesterday's trades. And yeah, so for Friday, I ignored the morning because I didn't like all of the sitting around and waiting business. I didn't like it at all. And I don't trade lunchtime because then I might have been interested in something here. And I think if I wasn't so distracted on Friday, I might have, considered we have this order block. Oh yeah, that's what happened. I was like, ooh, it'd be nice if it tapped that and then dropped. I didn't document it though. Because I was like, there's a 50-minute order block right here. Let's drop that right there, the wick. So I would have been interested for this continuation down to go for that low. You know what I mean? So when it formed that and formed the fair value gap, I would have been interested in that. And there's like a bearish. Do I have a bearish order block in here? Don't matter. Let's just do this. So 15 minutes. And I'm trying to in my Thinkorswim account, I'm trying to note these things, right? Because once we left this thing and dropped below here with a body, I was like, oh, it'd be great if I took a trade there. But in true Shakira form, what did I do, right? Because I'm looking for them to take that low up because it's a strong downtrend, right? What do? They literally and very literally tapped it. So I don't know why I don't just, and I would have, and my stop, which is 0.5% of my account. And then they very literally ran and took that low out. Can you see the frustrations that I'm having right now? Because the market's really nice and clear, right? I don't know. I think in this moment, I was thinking to myself, oh, what if they like come back to the middle? What if they like deal with more of this? What I should have been thinking is, what PD arrays do I have? I have a big 50-minute fair value gap. I don't want them to come back up to the middle. And I've got this 50-minute order block right here. It disrespected all of this. Just when I have that instinct and it makes sense to me, just take the trade. Win or lose, take the trade. And look at this. Easy staircase down. Easy staircase down. Easy stair. I would have just been trailing my stops. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it in. You know what I mean? Until that low got taken. Done. But I didn't do that, did I? I absolutely did not take the trade that I was like, you know what, this is beautiful. It'd be great if they tap the base of that and then we can go. Did not do that. Anyway, so PM comes around. I'm like, cool. Here's what I want on the PM. So let's again look at the 15-minute, right? So again, look at the 15-minute. Similar situation. So what I want to know is we have this, the wick is smaller, so I'm more interested in them tapping the body, right? And then I want to take something that really kind of irks me about this particular situation when it's like that. Like that bigger wick, it made me feel a bit more comfortable. Not comfortable enough, obviously, to take the damn trade. So let's take all this off of the fib for a second here and just see, right? So the other thing that I could potentially do is check to see where the midpoint of this wick is, right? Of this order block right here. So if they don't take the midpoint of the order block when they take that, then I should feel comfortable, right? Anyway, so go to the 1 minute. So what was I looking for? So we're exceedingly bearish this whole time. And I personally thought, we're so heavy, we've been dropping so much, we definitely could, drop back down to, a higher time frame PD array. So if we look at the 5 minute, hold on, let me just say. So I don't necessarily need all of this, right? I was looking at, maybe coming down to this PD array, just tapping that puppy. Shoot, I would be, locking in my profits here anyway, because that's already a nice enough drop on the 15-minute. I mean, come on, stop right there, and then see if they want to go lower, which they did with alacrity. I mean, come on, right? So what did I wait for, right? So all of this is dropping, dropping, dropping. We've made these short-term highs. I was waiting for these guys to get swept and then for a and this could have sufficed, but I don't like shallow runs through. I guess it wasn't all that shallow on the 1 minute, but it felt shallow to me, so I didn't like it. I took a loss here. I don't know why I took this. I already knew this is not my model. What the heck, Shakira? Silliness right here. Just pure silliness. It hurt my heart. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know why I did that. Because it's one thing if they took this out, right? That's potential. They might want to go to the order block and then showed me with a body, then I could have taken it there, but not with this many weeks just a route in it. It just doesn't make any sense to me, at least not for my model, right? I give you an example of what would have looked good, right? If I was gonna take that, right? So uh, probably will be able to. So I'd like if I were to take it. So as an example, like for this one here. So if we disrespected this higher time frame thing and then left a green candle here at the base, then I would have taken that. I would have taken that. That would have felt fine to me. Um, but not. And that's the other frustration. Like, why did I do that? Like, this doesn't meet the model at all. This is just, messing about, telling me we're going to continue up a little bit more. But anyway, so the trade I should have taken and the one that I was absolutely waiting for, once it came up here, it tapped into the wick of that 15-minute. Is that the wick or the body? The body of that, right? And then we started wicking in here. And I do believe, let's go back up here for a second. I do believe, was there another fair value gap? Nah. Oh, sorry, here. Kind of looked at that, but I didn't like it. It was too small. This should be a sippy. Anyway, so like once it did that, like I was honestly, seriously, I was honestly hovering with my stop, hovering, and I would hate that. That's a $500 stop, right? But my 37-point stop would have been fine. So I was hovering. I think that's what really best with me. Like I was hovering as it made this wick, wick, wick. I was hovering over this spot right here and I didn't press the sell button. And that really hurt my heart. And then once that happened, extra confirmation, I set my order here. Obviously, they didn't come back up for that. So boo hoo to me, right? And then I should have felt somewhat comfortable because that's another option, right? Like we busted through this. There was a little thing right there. I should have felt comfortable maybe trying that right there as we're at the base because we've already closed the body. And they're more than happy to wick into that little like volume imbalance. I don't know if you guys can see the tiny little guys. I look for these all the time, right? Tiny little guy right there. So I literally missed multiple opportunities to get in on this juicy trade. Because I mean, come on. Like we're already well over like 3K for me. Like I'd be trailing my stop like, top of this candle and then watching once that drop, move it, trail it above the halfway point here. I don't care. I will lock in all of those gains at that point in the hopes that I can see it heading to where it needs to go. Heavy, beautiful markets, and I'm missing out on all the good stuff because I'm hesitating to take the trades. Yeah, so that hurt my heart. And then I noticed again, they came back up. And this time, I don't necessarily think they need to roll into the 50-minute thing. Now, the the fair value gap would be like the entry for me when they failed, and I would have been stopped out here. This one would have been good because my stop should be here, should be there. But this is times I've decided I'm just not trading anything. Yeah, there. So that's basically Friday, right? Like waiting, 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 and then just not taking the trades. And then the 10 o'clock, man, that hurt my heart. Like that hurt my heart. Let's go to the 5 minutes for a second. That hurt my heart because the retracement up, right? That's like a black. So this is the whole order block right here. So again, do they breach the midpoint of that thing? They don't. So once they didn't breach the midpoint of this order block, which is beautiful, again, I am, short biased. What could I have done? Let's take a look, right? So what could I have done? Like, don't like any of this. These guys, these three things right here. If I'm being completely honest, like, I would probably wait for the shift. There's one shift here, boom. There's another shift here. Now for a small run, see, take that. What's in here? Nothing I like besides the order block, So if I had taken that, I would have been taken out. Maybe I should consider the volume imbalance that forms, and then my stop, which is very tight, would, you know, would be something. Then we're coming back down. It's lunchtime. I don't know if I'm like expecting anything amazing again, given how much it's just like for if I probably would just be aiming for this fair value gap to get taken out. That's nice. Maybe just tap that order block, something like that. Keep it simple. But the PM showing how much they're willing to move, man, that hurt my heart. That really did hurt my heart. All right, let's take a look at Thursday, yeah? It's 15 minutes. That really hurt my heart. I'm not gonna lie. Like that seriously, let's hit the replay button so I don't have to think about it. Let's select the date, so Friday. So that'll put us to Thursday. So I don't think I documented anything. Let's see. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Thursday, I did put some orders in, but I didn't get filled on any of them. So there's a PM trade that I wanted, but I didn't get the entry at the wick. So my screenshot, 2:45-ish. So let's take a look at the PM for this. And this is Thursday. We are absolutely, of course, bearish. Everything has been taken out. So I think the Thursday trade was probably not the best plan, I don't think. Because yeah, it would have made me probably about 800 or something like that. But it was counter trend, and those those aren't great, I don't think. So let's think about what we have here and what I could have done better. So this one is a little hard because let's note this 15-minute fair value gap, right? And I should have been waiting for like a return back up. Now look at that. Hindsight, it really is 2020. So here's one thing I'm pretty sure that happened to me. I set my entry at the top of this. I always do. I really do. I always do. I always set it at the top of that thing, and it didn't fill. They tapped in the middle of it. Actually, hold up. Let's get a little closer. Let's see here. Right there. Yeah. See that? Now, I need to get comfortable with moving my entry down after I don't get the tappy tap. I should have done this because minimum I'd be above it, and if they do wick up a bit into it, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But I didn't do that. So guess what? I missed beautiful juicy trade. And that's something. And that's after this. We are literally just like waterfalling down, right? So this was at 12:15 when this would have happened. No, I think this is just something I would have taken, but I was at lunch at this time. But the truth is absolutely that I would have put it at the top of that to give myself a little bit more room, wiggle room. I get close to the top of that wick with my 37 point stop. But anyway, so let's move this out of the way for a moment. This again, like 5:30, 8:15. This is 9:45 for realsies. Let's clone that and take a look at this for VIGAP because what? Can I please move you? Thank you. Okay. Didn't want me to move it for a second there. So there's a little bit of a break in here, so it's right there. So in the morning, let's move this. And this is of course before this was formed, right? Or is it before it was formed? No. So when it pulled back up, let's zoom in here and move this over. So let's zoom in. So we've taken all of this out inside this guy, and then I would have wanted to see a shift. Now, what hurts my heart about this type of trade is after this shift, there's like three of these, right? And I'm still not super excited about moving my stop. Like that at 10 o'clock, again, hindsight for me, and I would have been looking for that low to get taken out. I wouldn't have gone much lower than that, just that low to get taken out. But sometimes, after this happens, I could have also quite easily set my entry. And I like this one. Like, I like it when it does that. Like, if we're going to tap that, then I might want to see if they want to tap that. But I sometimes worry that they're not going to make it to the third candle. You know what I mean? Um, and in this case, they do. But then they do come back and tap it one more time. And then they drop beautifully. And I don't know about you, man. This first drop, we're already like a couple thousand up. I'm hoping they're going to take this low out. I've I'm not gonna lie. Like my idea would be to move my stop down, move my stop down. I probably would have been stopped out somewhere around here. Mm. But something I need to work on is we are very, very bearish. We've already shown. So, if I had taken it from here, where's 105 ticks? Yeah, it would have been stopped by that. Or move it into break even like here and then just hope for the best. Again, that's all hindsight, but it's something that I would have probably felt semi-comfortable taking. But these wicks on this day in the morning were really like concerning me, so I didn't end up taking anything. But I'm thinking about what I could have done better, and that's what a lot of this review is about. Because then on the 5 minute, we have this big move down and a move back up. I don't know. I might have set it at the body and then I would have still missed it. Look, up the body right there. And then I would have still missed it. when they came up to snatch it. So, mm. So then I would have been looking at the base of this and I don't know, maybe gotten stopped out when they wicked above my 37 ticks. But the concept of re-entering, like re-entering, whoops, we're going. But the concept of re-entering might not have like come super easily for me. Because I would have wanted to see what they were gonna do. So they wicked into it there. They wicked it right, and then they tapped it there. I might have thought they wouldn't want to touch it again, and then not entered. And then I might have actually considered something like that, but I wouldn't take it because I haven't seen like the shift. You know what I'm saying? So then the next option, would be that wick, which they do absolutely take right here. Would have been the base of this wick because of the fact that it's a long wick. So then my other option at that point would have been to go for those lows. And in this market, come on, man, that's pretty juicy, right? They tapped it beautifully and then they ran. Again, I would be trailing my stop. Like this is what, 514? Man, once that tapped and I was in profit, move my stop above here. Once that dropped, move my stop above here. Once it dropped, here, what are we? Because I'm gonna keep my 1,000, no matter what. I'm not giving back $1,000, And then once I'm at 1,000, leave it there, and then see if it can make it down to, you know, where I think they're gonna come take out some stuff, and they do. And again, once I get that, lock it in here, and then when it forms this and drops below it, lock it in until TP gets taken. Hmm. I really do need to trust. Like, we've already switched. We've swept, hit an order block, sweep right here. Now, if I follow what Kimmel says, whatever fair value gap forms in that space, I would take it here and then set my stop above here. Man, that's $1,000 stop. I would have taken a little heat, but then the risk to reward would have been nice. And ICT also says it, like you need to take take the set your stop above the highs or whatever. The other thing I could have done was set my stop above the candle that forms. Well, that's still that high, haha, or the midpoint of the fair value gap, especially since we're just seeing them wicking it. That should be safe, which it ends up being that. But I'm really just not the person to do that yet because I just haven't found that profitability. So being able to set my stops a certain way and limiting my loss to 0.5% of the account is really important to me. So the really obvious would have been this guy right here, and then with my 37 tick stop, and it would have been fine. I find that most of the trades that I want to take, I don't need to change my stop. It can be a lot more aggressive. Anyway, so let's see what happened in the PM. Right, so we're in this general vicinity, and there is a fair value gap. Um, so I set my entry here, and they tapped here, and I never got in on this small move. But in hindsight, terrible idea. I was expecting a move back down, but I was trying to catch a little bit of that counter trend. But look how messy that is. I did say at the beginning we were going to talk about it. Look how messy it is to go up. Look at this consolidation. And then here, I would have been more than happy to take the short right here, top of that. Again, my stop would have been perfectly fine. And then reaching for them to take that low out. It would have just been like a straight shot. I mean, But I logged out at that point because I was just really irritated with myself. So at this point, we're over 1,000. I'd move my stop here to lock in that 1,000 and change fees, and then, see if they're willing. Actually, what am I talking about? I wouldn't have had to move anything. They just dropped straight to it, right? Like, bam, right there. No pullbacks. That's the market that we're in right now. Anyway, so this one again, it's 2 o'clock. I Thursday was a bit of a busy one for me, which is really annoying. So sometimes I just don't get to focus the way I want to. And I had this stray thought to move it to the wick here. And they tapped it a number of times, and I still would have made like a bit, because I was hoping they would want to go up to this fair value gap up here. But I wouldn't have given back much. Like I would have moved it here. So I probably would have only gotten, if I had taken that, uh, 400 or 500 or something like that. No, not even 500, like 300 or something on that. So yeah. So I'm gonna be more strategic with my setups and entries for sure. Anything in line with the higher time frame, I am in it to win it. So I'll see once they get to the higher time frame PD array and then see if they give me an opening for an entry like they did on the previous day. I mean, they gave it to me here, but that's a big boy. And I wanted to see how they behave here. So then I should have felt comfortable taking the short from there too. And that would have been in the morning. I don't know if I was waiting on news or something. It's quite possible. Anyway, let's get rid of that and let's dip to Wednesday. Definitely didn't trade very well on Wednesday. That's for sure. So like that. All right, so now we're on Wednesday. And this is one of those days, man. It just dropped, yo. This is it after 4. I wasn't even looking at it. Most of what I was trying to trade on Wednesday, like I guess we were in we are in this like internal bullish range here. So let's see. What did I take on Wednesday? Hmm. Yeah, that one hurt my heart. It looks like I took a short and I took a long. Yeah. I took two trades. I took one in the morning at 10:39. I won at 250. So let's take a look at those and see what the hell I was doing wrong there. So it's 9:45. So let's note this for the AM session. It's busy. So I love to see these disrespected. Like inversion fair value gaps are like my shtick, right? I like those a lot. 10:39. Yeah. Probably took some stupidness around the midnight opening price. Those always like mess me up. And then there was a short at 250 where I took a long instead and got my arse handed to me. So it was going down, and I was bearish, but for some reason I took the long instead, and yeah, got my ass handed. So it's in this general vicinity here, which, by the way, makes no sense at all for me. I'm struggling to read it well. And then 10:39, was trying to short. So right in this general vicinity here. So what definitely wasn't looking at it clearly on Wednesday. Like I think that also hurt my heart too. Like what am I doing, right? What am I doing? So 1039, a short, this, right? The weakness here, right? It swept it and it already swept all of this. So I was still expecting um them to go lower, but I wasn't thinking about the internal session bias, which was long. I should have felt comfortable going long in this general vicinity. We had a shift right here. I should have felt comfortable taking the long. Let's see if my stop would have withstood that. So if I'd taken the long at the order block right there, my stop should technically be at this low. Ugh, it's like a little over $500 there. And then target the midnight open. Could have gotten that. Could have gotten that. Because we did have a sweep here and then a shift here. Nice strong candle. So, any return in this general vicinity should have been okay. There's also the retap of this top right here. I could have, also, I do like that. But at the same time, the retap would have worked out with my existing stop right there for that. And then that would have been stopped out right after. I would have gotten here, moved my stop up. This is the 1 minute, a bit, and then stopped out right there. Yeah. So, this order block was the better choice. Or I could have waited to see what they were gonna do in here, then taken the fair value gap. Again, I would have been safe if I'd set my stop at the lows technically, because this fair value gap got formed. Like this is a higher probability fair value gap. Green, 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 that formed it, order block. And then I could have also, something else that I've been thinking about, the midpoint, whenever there's a big wick like that inside of the fair value gap, I could have set it at the midpoint of the wick. That would have worked out nicely for that. So options. But that's not what I did. So um yeah, and then let's dip over. Like I really, really didn't do well this day. Like I really didn't do well at all. And then I literally just got myself, I don't know, I was just too focused on the 1 minute, got myself chopped up in a what is it, 250, like in this general vicinity right here, thinking they were gonna hold because of the wicks. And I was like, all right, I'll go long. And then they, just took me out. So none of this, like this right here is literal, unadulterated crap. Like I shouldn't have touched that at all. At all, at all, at all. Anyway, so let's dip back up to the 15 and let's move to the Tuesday, the last time I took a trade. So, well, the first trade of the week, really. I took two longs on Tuesday, both in the PM. So let's take a look at the PM. So at 2:16 and 2:35. So let's take a look here. All right, so I think we were hanging about in the. So I took a long at 2:15 here, order block, fair value gap right here. And I think the first presented fair value gap was sitting around in this general vicinity mocking me as well. Okay. And let's look at the 1 minute here real quick. And let's see the first, because I'm trying not to overcomplicate things. So 9:30, nothing, nothing, nothing. 420, 420. Just looking for the first. So technically, um, if I'd taken this for the long, it would have been fine, but I don't know what I was thinking. So I did take a long at 4:03. 4:03:50. And right, this is in the morning. Sorry about that. Ha 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 ha. So I did take a long at 4:03:50 right in here. Got tapped nicely, but I was waiting for them to break out of this. They didn't. So I did move my stop till cover. So that's $100 taken there. And I did take a long um at 4:29:50. Why did I take it there? 4:29:50. Oh, because the first presented fair value gap was right here at the top, and we'd broken above it here after dropping for like freaking forever, but I didn't wait for confirmation. That's what I should have done. Waited for confirmation. So how could I have done this better, right? So we swept, sweep, and I could have waited for a set, but I did. This looked crap. So like this was a stronger sweep. And then I could have waited for a second sweep. We had it here, and then I could have taken something at the body here. Even tried for down here. Let's see, was that? Yeah, that's the start of it. And when there's a long wick like that, I prefer to go with the body. It was a shorter wick, especially when there's so much, back and forth with it, and then I could have, let's see, we had some equal highs, right? That's some equal highs. So that guy right there, probably, and that diamond, what, 4 o'clock would have gotten us there. So, I mean, plenty to go after there. Look at the 5 minutes, see if there's anything clearer, right? Right. So then on the 5 minute order block, crap. See. See, my 37 tick stop would have saved me. If I'd taken the body there, here, after this shift. So I would have wanted it here, honestly. I would have wanted it there. But they didn't take that. But I should remember that, don't check other time frames to see what's available. I really don't, and I really should. Like this is a 10 minute, and then the 15 minutes. Look at that. That's the top of, so correlations like the top of the 15-minute fair value gap. I mean, order block after this shift up, take it there. That's what I see on the 5 minute. Spec that out, take it there, and then see what happens. And that would have worked juicily for the longs I was trying to take, but just where I took it in here instead of waiting for the breakout from here. That is what really, really, really hurt me. Really took me out for the day. So, you know, I need to focus more on the higher time frames, better confirmations for the movements because we had a shift here and then we had a secondary one here. And that should have been enough confirmation. And then, I could have also taken, seen where this order block right here, like this is accumulation. It's not an order block. But you know what? I should be looking for, I think I have one. I should be looking for like a simple something that gets me sorted out, like confirms things for me. So like This, let's see if this looks, so that's the order block. And then they're saying this green one is the order block and not the black. So bearish, bullish. Uh-huh. Probably because there's a fair value gap attached to it. Oh no. Delete mitigated order blocks. Let's see what the boxes look like. Because sometimes I just need a little help finding it, you know? Especially when there's so many. So like this is the 15-minute order block. 1, 2, 3, 15. And then this is the 5-minute one. They never came back up down to that one. There was a fair value gap, so I would have wanted them to come to this one. I would have. I'm not gonna lie. I would have wanted them to come back to that one. Let's see. Higher time frame FVGs. So maybe I'll play with this and see if it's just a nice, easy way for me to see. I have to like draw them myself. Let's see, let me delete that. This is the 1 hour FVG. So I like the 15-minute ones. I don't know if you can even see it. So that's a bearish one. Anyway, it's like 2:17 on a Sunday, so I'm gonna go be lazy. But this felt good to like review and take a look at everything. And I'm, as always, super duper optimistic. And I forgot to put my glasses back on for the blue light filter. These won't work for me because I never think to put them on. So I have to get a pair that actually suits me. So you guys enjoy your Sunday. I will be back tomorrow. See if they want to continue bleeding out or if Monday is going to be kind of a doji kind of day. If it is, I'm not trading until Tuesday. Anyway, behave yourselves. You guys have a wonderful time. Shakira.